When are you fighting Tom?
I was waiting for it. When are you fighting Tom? Like, governor. The UFC and Tom, we all got a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. They're one of the biggest organizations in sports, and right now Tom and I have agreed to wait for the UFC to make their announcements. So I legally can't really talk about it.
A UFC insider and analyst named John Onike recently shared his thoughts on where and when the likely fight between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall will take place. This means that Jon Jones has agreed to fight Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, I think we see it December 2025, T-Mobile Arena, Dateline, Las Vegas.
Not New York. Why not New York?
Well, Jon Jones fought and won at Madison Square Garden in New York last November. I'm a Boston guy. Place a fucking dump. No, I mean, he checked that box. I'm not sure what the taxes are, but why does Jon Jones need to fight at Madison Square Garden? Why not fight at T-Mobile Arena in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada? You guys there? No? I don't know.
I'm feeling it, yeah.
A lot of MMA fans want Jones to defend his title against Aspinall in a fight to clear both titles. That being said, the two-division winner doesn't really want to fight the Brit. Because of this, Bowen's actions made a lot of people mad, but UFC CEO Dana White was still hopeful that the long-awaited heavyweight fight would happen this year. Jon Jones didn't think Tom Aspinall did much to help him leave a memory, but the American asked for a lot of money and 6 months to train before he could fight the temporary king. Jones recently visited a fight seminar in Phuket, where the 37-year-old was asked about the time frame of the Aspinall fight and replied positively. John Onike also praised the UFC's choice, calling it strong and consistent matchmaking. He was shocked by how much the odds were stacked in favor of Makhachev, pointing out that Oliveira is a big, skilled lightweight who has many ways to win.
UFC 317, when they decided on Oliveira versus Topuria, were you like, yep, like I'm on board, or were you on the Gaethje side of things or the Tsarukyan side of things? Maybe, because now Makhachev was out of the way. What did you think about their decision to go with this one?
Well, I think it was a two-man race between Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje. With respect to Arman Tsarukyan, if you take Dana White at his word that Arman was not going to be afforded the opportunity because he relinquished his opportunity, then it was a two-man race. And I thought both had supremely strong cases. I think were Islam Makhachev to have stuck around potentially and say Ilia Topuria was not in the mix, Makhachev versus Gaethje is a fresh matchup that Oliveira versus Makhachev is not. But I had heard rumblings that Ilia Topuria might fight Charles Oliveira in a non-championship setting, so I always felt like Du Bronx had the inside track. It is a fantastic main event.
He said that there were rumors that Charles Oliveira was going to fight in a fight. That wasn't for a title. This made him think that Oliveira was always close to getting another title chance and that he knew how to get in touch with Islam Makhachev. However, he also mentioned that Oliveira earned his way back into the title contention by defeating Arman Tsarukyan at UFC 300. And, in his view, Oliveira is equally deserved as Justin Gaethje. Onike ended by expressing excitement for the rematch.
I think Charles Oliveira, man, is just a big lightweight with a lot of ways to win. I'm excited for the fight. I understand for some fans, Makhachev versus Topuria is the super fight that went away, but if this doesn't qualify as a super fight for you in 2025, I don't know what to tell you. Charles obviously coming off a win after his fight with Arman Tsarukyan at UFC 300, was able to get a green stripe on the Wikipedia page, and Charles is as deserving as Justin Gaethje, and can't wait to see them lock the door behind those two, and I know you guys are aligned with that.
In addition, UFC lightweight contender Arman Tsarukyan will serve as a backup fighter. He made it plain that he is staying prepared in case a chance arises. He said he's going to the United States and will step in on short notice if either Islam Makhachev or Charles Oliveira withdraw. He is not officially the backup, but if the UFC calls, he will say yes without doubt.
Сейчас летаем в Нью-Йорк и там находиться, если что-то травмируется, если UFC мне скажет, что ты готов, я скажу да.
Арман, ты поехал, если предложат пойдет.
Однозначно, да. То есть сейчас мне нужно рисковать, так как я получил травму, и эту травму неправильно обрисовали. То есть вышел, доктор мне сказал, что и как произошло, и люди, некоторые думают, что я там просто соскочил с этого боя и так далее. И сейчас просто нужно вернуться в строй, И что UFC скажет, то и будет.
He addressed the misunderstanding around his earlier ailment, claiming that many incorrectly thought he backed out without reason today. He is all in and ready to take chances to reclaim his place in the spotlight. Negotiations for his next fight are happening, but nothing is finalized yet, most likely depending on how AEA versus Topuria plays out. Arman considers the bout to be razor close, but he feels Topuria will defeat Oliveira. Though he respects Oliveira's deadly submissions, he thinks AEA lacks the wrestling ability to take down Topuria and expects Ilya to use his better punching to keep the fight standing.
Я так понимаю, что UFC согласовали с тобой следующий поединок?
Они не согласовали, но идут переговоры о следующем бою. Но это будет после того, как пройдет бой Оливера Топури.
А каким ты видишь этот бой Топури и Оливейра?
Очень тяжелый бой, но все-таки я думаю, что Топури сможет финишировать Оливера. Да, конечно, Оливера очень опасный, он с любой позиции может душить. Но просто перевести у Оливера не такая вольная борьба. Допустим, моя работа, да, я люблю переводить. То есть я его перевожу, и он может контратаку какую-то сделать, там, удушающую взять, как он взял меня там. То есть это возни не будет. Топурия просто будет работать, боксировать, не будет пытаться его переводить, так как у него намного лучше бокс, чем у Оливера. А у Оливера, мне кажется, недостаточно вольной борьбы, чтобы перевести Топурия.
As for Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena, Arman gives Islam the advantage in wrestling and cage IQ, saying Jack's wall defense is poor and Islam should take him down in free space. He thinks Islam may end the conflict with control or a smooth submission.
А кого ты видишь фаворитом в бою Ислама Махачева против Джека де Мадалена?
Я вижу фаворита Ислама.
За счет?
За счет борьбы и контроля удушающей.
Или что?
Честно сказать, я Джека только последний бой видел.
Да.
До этого не смотрел. Защита от стены у него очень хорошая. Но не знаю, как он работает в середине. То есть Ислам его должен переводить в середине, прошу защищать от стены, то, что не делал.
Белал Мухаммад.
Вот, он пытался перевести и пытался показать свой бокс, и ни разу не попытался в середине перевести. Если ты чувствуешь, что соперник очень хорошо защищается от стены, надо попробовать в середине. Ислам, я думаю, что у него намного...
UFC's top boxers Arman can't decide between Topuria and Maddalena, but he likes Jack because he is more technical. While Topuria hits harder, he leaves more holes. He concluded by claiming he's ready to fight anyone next, including Paddy Pimblett, but he thinks the UFC will put Paddy up against him. At this point, all he wants to do is get back in there and prove that he is a legitimate contender for the lightweight title. Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev has started his formal training camp alongside former UFC legend Khabib Nurmagomedov. When asked about his grueling training camp, Islam replied that being around Khabib all those years made things easier for him. He claimed that Khabib laid the groundwork and demonstrated the plan, and all Islam had to do was follow in his footsteps.
I have to ask you, how was, I know Khabib is like your brother, your big brother, and you follow along that path, but how is it all those years being there, learning and watching behind Khabib, knowing that one day I'm gonna step in and this is gonna be me? I'm gonna be number one pound for pound.
For me, it's more easy because he showed me the way. I just have to follow. Do what he did, just follow him. That's it. Because all this way, and he showed us. Now he retired, but he still push us. The camp is gonna be so crazy. It's gonna be hard for everybody.
Even though Khabib is retired, he stays active, always pushing and mentoring the squad. Islam considers himself lucky to have had a front row seat to watch, learn, and prepare, knowing that one day he will stand up and become number one. Islam Makhachev has been stepping up his training in Dubai ahead of his upcoming title defense. Most famously, he has been working with former UFC featherweight contender Zabit Magomedsharipov. Islam explained that Khabib does not believe in shortcuts. In his mind, there is only one possible result. Work really hard. According to Khabib, each training practice should be tough. You should be sweating through 3 t-shirts, fighting for an hour each day, and pushing yourself. No excuses.
You know, this guy know just one way, not other way. He know just you have to be work hard. You have to change 3 t-shirts. You have to sweat. You have to like wrestle almost 1 hour every day, but not as other way. I know, Henry, you follow like UFC program, UFC PI program. Someday you take rest, but for these guys,
Yeah.
I don't know some people who can explain him. Hey, this guy need rest. You know, for example, I know when I training with him in AKA, I told this, we did like 5 rounds sparring, we did 3 rounds grappling, and that's it. Like do some drills, that's it. But now I don't know what they changed. We did 5 rounds sparring in the cage, 3 in the mat. We did 10 rounds wrestling. I asked him, hey, we never did this when we're training together. Hey, he said, we did this always.
On the other hand, Islam stressed Khabib's intensity and discipline, which distinguish him as a special instructor. Not only a teacher, but someone who wants the best from everyone. He does not take break days as recommended by the UFC PI model. He works at full capacity at all times.
He have more experience, but same skills, you know. He beat the oldest guy because they don't have wrestling. But when someone have good wrestling skills, he always have trouble with Gamrot, with me, and it's gonna be again. He have good wrestling skill, but if somebody defends, he have problem. Told all my fight career, I want to fight with a real contender or a real fighter who deserves the title fight. He's the tough guy, you know.
Furthermore, Islam believes that his tough training routine, especially under the direction of Khabib and the Dagestani system, gives him a significant advantage. This level of preparation, in his view, is what distinguishes him from guys like Jack.
And I don't know his background, you know. He defends my wrestling. He give me just, you know, he's tough. That's why he give me a hard time. But now I know everything what he can do.
So you think you'll finish it?
I think yes. Oh man, I train him really hard every camp, every time, non-stop. That's why I always improve. I still improving right now, and I love to fight.
Dimitrius!
Now it's my goal to finish all Crash.
Islam admires Jack's hitting and boxing, but he is positive that his pressure wrestling and non-stop tempo, honed via hard training camps, will be too much for Jack to handle. In fact, Islam thinks he can take Jack down, control him, and possibly finish him, either through submission or dominant ground and pound. Islam Makhachev believes grappling as a significant weapon for finishing his opponents, especially Jack Della Maddalena.
Короче, эту неделю нормально отпахали. Вот даже результат налицо. Тренер расписан.
Доволен ли я или нет?
Да.
Честно?
Да.
Сколько?
4. А что надо сделать, чтобы 5 получить?
Брат, в среду вечером отдохнули?
Да.
Ну,
Нельзя было?
нет, конечно.
Ой.
Отдыхаем в воскресенье и суббота вечер. И все.
Yeah, if you watch his skills, he have good skills wrestling, and who have the wrestling skill.
Also, Islam knows that while Jack is a swift and skillful striker with outstanding boxing skills, his takedown defense, especially in the middle of the cage, is not exceptional. Islam feels that once he beats Jack, it will be his world. That's where he shines. He sees grappling as a way of gaining victory, whether through a submission, ground and pound, or simply overwhelming pressure that depletes his opponent. Islam's style is based on breaking down opponents slowly and controlling them on the ground, and he fully trusts that approach against a striker like Jack. Islam Makhachev has freely admitted that one of the key reasons for his success was simply following the route and guidance of his coach and mentor, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Of course, all what I have now, I have to say all my life thank you to Coach Abdulmanap, because when I was young, when I'm not good fighter, I don't have nothing, he believed me. He told me, hey, you have guys, because when I went to the gym, I'm like young guy, you know, but I have Khabib, like we have other guys, Rustam, Shamil, they like legend in Dagestan, like they have many MMA fights. And he said, just follow what this guy is doing and that's it. Now you're young, but I know one day you will be champion. And I listen him all my life. I listen. When he say he loved judo, he loved sambo, and he sent me to the many competition. You know, I go Russian championship sambo, I go judo competition. He called me, hey, tomorrow we have to go somewhere to compete in the like Dagestan championship, or I don't know, like Makhachev championship. And I went, you know, I always listen.
However, he stated it unequivocally. Khabib showed him the route, the training, the discipline, and the attitude, and Islam simply had to follow it step by step. There was no need to overthink or develop anything because Khabib had already become the best. And Islam was confident that if he trained the same way, stayed consistent, and worked as hard, he would also reach the top. Previously, Islam Makhachev trained in the mountains under icy and severe conditions, adhering to the brutal Dagestani method of preparation. He's been pushing himself through high-altitude training, cold weather runs, and icy recovery times as part of his rigorous fitness. This form of training not only improves physical toughness, but also mental resilience, which is a crucial tool. In his fighting method, Islam feels that tough conditions breed tough fighters, and pushing himself in the difficult alpine environment offers him a major advantage when it comes time to enter the cage.
Наконец-то смог я тебя зимой вытащить.
Обратно в парную. В домашних условиях не повторять.
That is the stage set. Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena is a match between a grappling machine and a strike assassin. Can Jack hold it together and land that one clean shot? Or will Islam draw him into deep seas and control with its smothering wrestling? This is not merely a game. It's a test of style, grit, and legacy. Make your predictions in the comments part below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell button to never miss a second of the action.